I think we're ready to go. So, welcome. Sorry, I don't speak Romanian. You can tell because of my name, I'm not from around, so I'll go in English, if you don't mind. If you have any question and you want to speak with the local partner, we have here Clico, is the local partner. And I want to start off by thanking Clico, thanking ETA for inviting Elastic. So while we're waiting for the last to squeeze in, I'm Mariano. I'm a sales engineer from Elastic. And hopefully today we'll present you for the one you don't know already, our security solution, what our security solution looks like, okay? So we'll wait for 5-minute courtesy for the ones, late. This has been a big queue for lunch, so. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Okay. That works fine. Are we? Okay. Yeah, I'll start today, right now, yeah, if you want to close. Yeah, thank you. Okay, I think we are good to go. Okay, good afternoon. Again, my name is Mariano. I'm sales engineer from Elastic. Thanks for being here today. In the next, 40, 45 minutes, we all take you through the Elastic security stack. So I'll take you to, very specific on Elastic. Can you raise your hands who is familiar with Elastic before this presentation? You, well, a lot of you guys, well, for the old timers like myself, we all been using Elastic in, different ways, like starting with the Logstash. Logstash is the knife, tool. Everybody's been using it 20 years ago anyway, but it's been evolving from the EL key, and the company's been officially founded in 2012. As of today, there's 5 billion with the B downloads, so 3,000 employees around the world. We have presence on 40 countries. It's being used, Elastic, by 54% of the Fortune 500 companies. And even though we have the headquarters in the Netherlands, we have our heart in Europe, but we traded in the New York Stock Exchange like any other companies, right? So our heart is here, but we trading in the US. So it is what it is, right? So I'll take you to, for the one that they are not familiar with what Elastic is. Okay, it all started again in 2012 with the EL key stack. This is Elastic Logstash Kibana, okay? Basically, that stack now is present on 80% of the products. I mean, just to name a few of them, if you're using OpenShift is coming with EL key. Ranger is coming with EL key. Everybody, is using EL key these days. Not most of them are aware that EL key means Elastic, but is Elastic. So there is a saying in the UK pitch, in the US pitch, you know? I mean, when someone is telling, okay, are you guys using Elastic? No. But then the pitch is not that you're aware of. But if you're now, you know, leaving this building, you know, this afternoon, and you get in a ride, you know, a car, you know, taking you back home, that, you know, application is using Elastic. If you're matching, you know, so in love, you're using Elastic for love, you know, because when you're matching, that application is using Elastic. If you're booking, you know, any trip or, you know, for these holidays, maybe that booking tool is using Elastic, for sure. So without you not knowing it, you're using Elastic, okay? And you've been using Elastic for a long time. So we started from 2012 with ELK. Then our journey went from the simple ELK now, you know, everybody is using it, to buying and acquiring this anomaly detection and forecasting company. That's part of an acquisition we did mid-2010, 2015. That's the precursor of the first SIEM GA solution. We GA a first SIEM solution around the COVID time, you know, 2019, in the midst of COVID. And we also acquired back then a company called Endgame. Endgame is an EDR company. So, oh, Elastic has an EDR? Yeah, Elastic has an EDR solution. So it's not just a SIEM solution, also EDR. So we're competing. As a matter of fact, it's not that we have an EDR. If you go to Mitre benchmark, every year Mitre is benchmarking EDRs, and Elastic is always coming up on the top 10, you know, on that benchmark. Of course, you know, number one is CrowdStrike, but we are not shooting down the entire world, you know, during June, you know. So anyway, we always on the top 10, okay? So we acquired this EDR company, we GA the SIEM, and then we start twice a week pushing on our SIEM customers our threat intelligence coming from the Elastic Lab. So instead of paying a fortune for recorded future intelligence, we provide, as part of the security license, twice a week threat intelligence for free. Well, it's part of the license, okay? But this is coming from the Elastic Lab. And Elastic Lab is really, really good. The people working at the Elastic Lab is really, really good producing intelligence. Okay? You don't need to spend $1 million subscription with Recorded Future to get good or decent intelligence. Then we start two main projects. So Elastic, for the ones that you don't know, I mean, we are one of the creators of, or the main contributors to the OSQuery project. Now, if you're using SIEM solution, you see, oh, OSQuery is here, there, you know, yeah, every vendor is using OSQuery. But this is an open source project, and started, you know, as Elastic being the main contributor to that project. But it's not just that. It's not here because this is security, but because Elastic is also doing observability, and I will go in there, you know, in a few minutes. Also, Elastic is the main contributor for the other big project in the market, OpenTelemetry. So if you see the two pillars, you know, the pillar for observability, OpenTelemetry, Elastic is the main contributor, you know. So other companies starting with DNS, you know, like now it's acquired by Cisco. You say, oh, we've been, you know, but Elastic, if you look, you know, who or where, you know, these, you know, main contributors are coming from, who is paying, you know, their salary, you're going to see that a lot of the contributors are coming from Elastic for OSQuery, for OpenTelemetry, okay? What happened next is the logical evolution is like, again, because we have observability, the OpenTelemetry and OSQuery, next evolution is to have this Elastic agent, which is the only agent in the market, is a dual purpose agent. So you can have it for like working as an EDR, but also it can be an OpenTelemetry collector. So it's a dual purpose, okay? It's collecting signals from security, but also is shipping metrics, logs, and traces for the observability purpose. And okay, for the one that believe on the convergence between security and observability, this resonates really good, right? Because it's everything under the same platform, a convergence. If I'm getting some telemetry from observability, I can correlate that telemetry with signals from security. So it's the perfect world for some people that believes in the convergence between security and observability. If you don't believe, well, that's okay. I mean, you can live, with working with the two, different worlds isolated. There's no reason to really go into that convergence. The other good thing about the Elastic Agent is that the Elastic is the only solution in the market with the real fleet management. So you can deploy a massive amount of agents using a fleet management console. So from a centralized place, you can deploy and create policies for agents. So you can define different policies for these different subnets, different type of domains, if we're talking about Windows controller. So you can distribute agents and use fleet to control that distribution, okay? So Elastic is agent, well, it's agent and it's agent-less approach. So sometimes we get the agent to collect signals, and sometimes we use agentless, especially for the cloud, right? When you're going after, things, entities on the cloud, you use like anybody else, a service account to get access to that, right? So you don't need a physical agent, okay? The other good thing about this agent is that it's being, for the 3 years in a row, considered by A/B test like 100% detecting, the malwares. So when you're using this, and this is unique, when you're using the EDR for malware detection, you don't pay license for the EDR, okay? The malware detection is for free, it's part of the security solution. If you want to enable the EDR side of things, then you pay, but you pay like if you're using a managed EDR, right? Something around $30, which is really, really competitive. And again, if you think about the EDR being on the top 10 on the mid-trade benchmark, every year is something that paid off. It works to try it. Okay. So what happened next is we start, going into the cloud service, cloud security posture management side of thing. We integrate this is agentless with the clouds, and then something happened around 2022. Elastic, as part of the Lucene project, Elastic is based and is being always based on Lucene. For the one, there's a lot of young people here, but the people is around for a long time. There's been always two main projects. I've been with IBM for 20 years. So Solar is one of the projects, then Lucene is the other, okay? So for the one that they're younger, so there's been always two main projects, okay? Then there's a lot of products, but the two main projects are always, Solar and Lucene. So as part of the Lucene project, Elastic created the vector database. And now it's the #1 vector database in the market, so all of the sudden. So for the one that don't know what the vector database is, it's the brain of any AI project. So when you need to keep data for an AI project, instead of a relational database or the SQL database, you need a vector database. And Elastic is #1 vector database. So what happened is that once we created this big vector database, there is a lot of AI use cases, and the first user is Elastic itself, right? We selling for customers using AI project, but we consuming our own vector database, and then we created AI assistant for security, and attack discovery. I'll tell you what it is. The AI assistant is a copilot. If you think about someone, now, can I ask you how to onboard this data? Because this is where you waste a lot of time. You want to reduce the onboarding time. So what we do there with the AI assistant is trying to reduce the time for the onboarding, helping you through, especially level 1 analyst, when you don't have a lot of expertise on the level 1. The AI is a good complementing, that part of the job. So it's helping, it's giving reassurance, it's helping the L1 analyst to get on board. And it's getting access to elastic knowledge base, but also public information. So basically, it's prepared to give you answers on what's going on your own distribution. If you're not good doing administration on Elastic, like happens most of the time, or if you're coming from Splunk, Curator, that is something is happening, hopefully for us, it's happening a lot, in the recent years. You don't need to, know how to translate SPL from Splunk into AQL, okay? Because the AI assistant is helping you to do the translation, okay? And also there is a lot of AI migration tools to do, automatic migrations from Splunk, Curator, different vendors, into Elastic. It's translating correlation rules, and it's translating also the dashboard. I mean, that's reducing the time to market a lot. So before you needed, for a migration, 100 hours, now, that can be done in no time with the AI assistant. It's easy. How it works is getting a correlation rule. The AI try to understand what do you want to do with the correlation rule. I don't know, you want to detect some compromised email account. Okay. So what it does is offering you something out of the box, which is similar to what you're trying to migrate from Curator, Splunk. So it's offering the similar out of the box. Or if you don't agree with that similar proposition out of the box, is doing a literal translation. And this, is like, languages, right? From Spanish to English. Sometimes, doing a literal translation is not good, but it's doing it. It's serving a purpose of accelerating this and getting up to speed. When it comes for migration. The other thing, apart from the import and the AI assistant, is attack discovery. What it does is using the AI, is doing the correlation, the automatic correlation of different alerts. For a human eye, it can be impossible to do correlation, especially when you have, thousands of alerts. Because to make sense out of how to correlate that thousands of alerts for a human eye is almost impossible. So, but because of attack discovery, the LLMs are prepared to understand the context. And especially the way it does, with Elastic. It's not just LLM, okay? This is a trick, okay? I will probably not tell you the full truth if I'm telling you this is just done by the LLM. Before that, when you plug in a new data source, any data source, a syslog, a Cisco router, when you plug in any data source, the first thing Elastic does is extract the entity from that, data source. So the name of the server, the IP address. So it's extracting using NLP entities. Okay, that's the first thing it does. And then it keeps that entity unique across the platform. So if you receive the same entity in two different data sources, but the entities name it differently in the other data source, what Elastic does is creating a unique entity, even though because of naming convention, you're getting, this on with a different name coming from a different data source. So the first thing is creating an entity relationship, like in graph theory, you create, entities. A is related with B, B is related with C. Okay, you got it. This is normally graph theory, okay? So what we're doing is creating the relationship, doing a clustering because of the relationship between them, and establishing the relationship based on proximity, traffic. There is a lot of ways of machine learning to establish, clustering. The ones that are data science or know how to do clustering might understand how this works. But the idea is that you create, connections between entities, and then because of the importance of the different entities, you assign to the entities different weights. Different weights, that means, different risk scores. Once you have unique entities, the relationship between entities, and a risk score assigned to any given entity, then it's easier for the LLM to do, for attack discovery, to do that correlation, because it knows how to correlate things. And based on the Mitre attack framework, is mapping, is showing in a kill chain map where exactly attack discovery is detecting an attack. So if it's either an exfiltration, if what stage of the attack is being detected by attack discovery. It's proposing using AI solutions. If you have playbooks, it's also suggesting playbooks. And because the AI can be connected to your own knowledge base, like if you're using Jira, if you're using ServiceNow, and you want to know how you fixed the same situation 10 years ago, so then this guy is clever, okay, because it's AI, so he's going back in time and he's telling you, okay, you fixed this 10 years ago doing this, so why not to do the same now, okay? Which is normal thing, okay, but if you research that, it takes time, okay, for the AI is researching it, it's doing it in no time. The other cool thing about this and about EDR integration is Elastic has a SOAR capabilities, so you don't need to buy an extra SOAR or pay for seats or, like any other vendors are charging, for SOARs. We have something called Remote Console, and you can access right now to CrowdStrike EDRs, SentinelOne EDRs, Microsoft Defender EDRs, and from the Remote Console, isolate, kill a process, see, what the process, do a dump of the memory of the computer, running that EDR. So you can do a lot of things on the endpoint, and based on basically this remote console. And also, there is something called workflows that what it does is doing these SOAR playbooks. So let's say one of the good examples is if I'm getting a hash and I think this is a bad hash, my playbook, my SOAR, what it does is getting the hash, send it to, VirusTotal, and looking in VirusTotal if the hash is already being reported as a bad hash, okay? And that can be something done with SOAR. Disabling an email account, an intra-ID account, compromised account. That can be done by the workflows, okay? So this is what we achieve, and this is what we consider our journey, next generation access. We call it, AI-driven security, because now, everything is AI-driven, especially with Elastic being #1 vector database. So we don't need, when you see demos on other vendors, ask the vendor where, what vector database they're using for the AI. They're gonna say, well, ChromaDB, whatever, blah, blah. No, you don't need to get, someplace else. Here, the vector database is on the same platform, okay? We are not using ChromaDB or other, vector databases. And on the market, analysts, we are always, ranked, leader in the market. This is something you can discuss, argue about, whether, this is fair or not. Okay, we always there, like in the Mitre benchmark. And the EV test, this is A/B test I've been referring to. Elastic is always, on the malware side of things, detecting and blocking 100% of the issues, These are some of the the companies that are currently using. Again, as I said before, when we asking people, are you guys using Elastic? Say, well, we don't know. Well, yeah, maybe you're using it, because you're consuming services for companies that are using Elastic. And Elastic is a platform, and on top of that, we have the search, the observability, and the security. Today, we're talking about security, but it is possible on the same platform to have observability and search, okay? The case is about, booking. When you're booking where you're going to rentals and you look for image similarity, that web search using image similarity underneath, under the hood, is using Elastic for image similarity, because that image is converted into a vector embedding, and that is, a vector search instead of a simple or semantic search, okay? To put it, in simple terms for you to understand. And then what I said about observability, okay? We're competing with Dynatrace on that space, with New Relic, Datadog. So, because, again, like going back to what I started on the journey, we are part of the open telemetry community. We started, on the beginning, and we are the most, contributing to open telemetry. And again, Elastic Security, it can be used as an endpoint security, next-gen SIEM, and also cloud vulnerability. If you want to scan and do vulnerability scanning with Elastic, that is possible. Elastic is bringing all of the basic stuff like federated search. Is an enterprise level solution. Okay, we started on the open source. There's still open source. There is releases for academia. We love academia. Okay, so don't get me wrong. We're here to make money, but we still love academia. We love the open source. Why? Because there are 3,000. Every time you plug in Elastic and you start using Elastic, the paid version, you get 3,000 correlation rules. You know where the correlations rules are coming from? The open source community. So we are thankful to the open source community because they are, still contributing to our project, and we believe in that because that is putting all of our correlation rules under scrutiny. So it's not like a black box, okay? Every correlation rule is under scrutiny. So it's under scrutiny of the open source community. So everybody has access to what the correlation rule is doing. This is Security Lab. Again, this is the, we create a report, everybody does, okay? I got, but we have one, this is a nice report, it's a global threat report, and it's this team, the Security Lab, is the one providing intelligence twice a week for free, okay? Then we have the ease solution. What is an ease solution? The ease solution is the strategy for Elastic trying to, okay, we got it, we listen to you. You've been using a given technology for a certain amount of time. I love Splunk, I love Curator, I love Sentinel. Okay, fine, we listen. Okay, you don't want to change now. But what about if we provide you the attack discovery, the AI capabilities on top of what you already have? Do you like that? Oh, of course, because I don't need to get into doing migrations. I don't know to face challenges like converting my correlation rules, so I can use something on top, just to get the benefit of attack discovery. Okay, yeah. Well, this is our answer to that prayer. That they want attack discovery, but they don't want to change now from the existing solution to Elastic. Okay, we can't wait, we're patient. We can't wait, when it's the right time for you, we're here. So we can provide this as a temporary solution for you to get access to the cool things from Elastic, okay? So also, again, this is the RAG project, the agentic. Okay, because Elastic is a vector database, again, you can create agents with Elastic. One of the things we incorporate Now is a new thing for the SIEM solution is there are 3 different agents, part of this agentic, type of, solutions you can develop. One is for alerting triage. So there is an agent that is provided, with the prompt that we've been, working for the past year with the security team of a lot of companies. So we create this agent that is prepared to do alert triage, level 1, okay? This is the first triage of alerting, and this is as well something that is really, really cool and is helping you, especially if you're a small team, okay? You don't have a big team on the SOC, well, you can't afford to have a big team, then this is a good answer for that. Okay, you have agents doing this job. So is this stealing my job? No, the AI is not stealing your job. Don't worry. I mean, you can do better things. No watching Netflix, but you can be, then with the time you're saving, instead of watching Netflix, you can do threat hunting. Okay, we love to do threat hunting. Okay, well, yeah, you can spend your time on threat hunting. Okay, but the idea is that these things are, specific to make our life easier, not to replace us, but to make our life easier. Okay. So we have ease, and this is more or less the portfolio. Okay, the AI auto import, the assistant, the attack discovery, the migration, automatic troubleshooting by using agentic type of agent created with the agent builder. The other thing is that Elastic is by default providing you with MCP. If you know what MCP server, okay, MCP is a gateway for you to, if you want to develop the agents in some other tool, or you have external agents from another tool, then the way the agent communicate with Elastic is via this MCP server, okay? So we provide an MCP server, so it's working with any agent in the market, agentic. So, and then you can do, you can use the natural language to run investigation, okay? If I want to use the AI assistant, which is normally what people does, can you run, and can you compile a root cause analysis or a post-mortem, So that takes time. That normally you need to compile, you need to get the evidence, you need to collect, thing that is time consuming. And that's where, this is shining, because this is saving you time in doing so, okay? So you don't need to, waste a lot of time in doing this manual labor, okay? That's one of the things. Okay, this is what I explained about automatic migration. It's easy as proposing you, recommending you alternatives to what you want to migrate, or out of the box alternatives, or basically doing literal translation, not just for the data correlation rules, but also for the dashboards. Okay, this is focused on QRadar and Splunk mainly, because the more customer we see coming is because of reasons that the acquisition of Splunk and IBM selling this to Palo. I mean, there's a lot of unhappy, let's say, customers, and they come into us, so we have this prepared for them, so to make their transition easier. Okay. This is how it looks like. The attack discovery basically is telling you the story here. Okay, this started here, blah 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 blah. It's telling you the entire story. I mean, it's being this is the exploit the attacker is being using. This is the vector of the attack vector. This is the attack surface. I mean, it's telling you the story based on the alerts there on the other tab, and based on the correlation, the relationship between entities. All of this is done in seconds by Elastic, okay? And this is the attack chain. Basically, what I said before is mapping where exactly on the attack chain this is happening, okay? So you don't need to think, the framework, because it's all explained here. And then we have anomaly and threat detection. So we have, like I explained it, machine learning as well. It's not AI, okay? AI is LLM and machine learning, okay? It's not the same. But I mean, even though we're using for the same reason. But machine learning models that Elastic has out of the box to detect anomalies, okay? This is not it's not skyrocket science. Basically, it's a deviation. You create a baseline, okay? Like everybody creates a baseline, and then you train that on, your specific seasonalities. If you're not, working on, let's say August and summertime, that is a seasonal thing on your, time series or your baseline. So, I mean, everybody knows how to. That's basic, one-on-one on data science. I'm not a data science myself. But, I mean, this is easy to use and to implement. So we provide out-of-the-box models, and you can consume these models for basically anomaly detections, and on historical data. Again, oops. This is the ESQL. So now, one of the things it's being said, regarding Elastic, search capabilities says, oh, okay, you don't have join tables, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now we have join table. We can do joins on Elastic, and that's one of the things being advertised by competitors. No, Elastic is not capable of doing join. Okay, there you go. These are the preview rules I've been explaining, the 3,000 we have out of the box. So one cool thing here is if none of these tools, none of these correlation rules are, meeting your expectation or your specific use case, you can select one of those that is close to where your use case is, and then you clone the correlation rule, and you modify, you customize the correlation rule, and you make it your own, okay? So the open rules are coming from the open community, is what we discussed before. And this is, all the ecosystem and what we cover here. Basically we cover a lot in terms of technology. It's like 5,000 different connectors. So this is really, really good. So this is the remote console I've been referring to. So from the remote console, you can access, different technologies. Again, we have an NDA with CrowdStrike, Microsoft Defender, and SentinelOne so far. So basically, we can access that, from remote. And basically, right now, we're still on the roadmap, getting NDA signed with others EDRs in the market. Okay, this is the XDR, how it looks like on XDR. The Prevail integration, and then AutoOps. AutoOps is something we are bringing to our customers in terms of making easier the administration. So if you don't know anything about how to do administration on an Elastic solution, then AutoOps is helping you to do the basic administration. Let's say do the sharding, do the replica set, define the indexes, how big the indexes should be. Everything is here. You can bring your own IDP when it comes to, on-prem or cloud. You can, have built-in conversations. And then these are the technology integrations that most, of our customers are using on a daily basis. Okay? Yeah. The LLM. This is important because a lot of, your customers, if you're resellers or partners, or some of you are thinking of, okay, I don't want to use LLM because the LLM is sending information out. Okay, we support air-gap solution, full air-gap. So basically, if you want to use your own LLM, you don't need to send information out, okay? I have customers using Olama. I have customers, they want, the French is spying on them, so they're using Mistral. Others, like the Chinese, they're using DeepSeek. So, I mean, you choose, who you want to spy on you. But anyway, this is the LLM solution, okay? and it's easy to integrate with Elastic. So basically, it's agnostic. If you want everything on the same billing, we provide tokens at a discount price from AWS Bedrock. Okay, that is the managed Elastic token, or LLM. When you see Elastic Managed LLM, it refers to we are passing on our customers at a discount price, a batch of, I don't know, 10 million tokens, I think, at a really good discount price, but we are not making money out of that. But because we need, our customers using, because this is a new, gasoline of the future, we need them to be on gasoline. It's like selling cars and there's no gas station around, okay? So we are selling cars, so we need, gas station, and we need, people, being able to refill the tank, okay? So that's the reason why we offer out-of-the-box managed LLM. And this is something important. If you think that the SOAR capabilities out of the box are not enough, we have an alliance with Tynes. Tynes is a next-generation SOAR solution as well, and it's offering a lot of workflows, out of the box, covering a lot of use cases. Then we offer training, and okay, now is a good time. If you have any question, I think a question around here, or someone wants to ask here.
I wanted to ask you if you don't have some kind of demo or something to show.
Okay,
Exactly.
it's asking me about a live demo.
You also have a question?
No, it's 45 minutes. It's difficult to prepare, everything, presentation and demo in 45 minutes. But I'll get back to you. Yeah.
So when we have security that is driven by the AI or LLMs, the accuracy of the detection is based on the accuracy of the data that we are receiving. So my question here is, how does it handle false positives? Because we see last year CrowdStrike incident that basically bricked half of the world and so on. So in production environment or like big companies, one false positive can basically brick the entire company.
Yep.
How does it manage the false positives and
Basically, attack discovery, because of the risk score, is reducing the number of false positives, because it's using not just the AI. Like I said before, it will be something absurd. Yeah, multiple layers. Yeah, multiple layers. It's not just the LLM. That would be stupid. Yeah.